What's up, Homestead homies? It's Off Grid with Doug and Stacy. I'm Doug. Real quick before we start this video, don't forget today's January 15, 2017, and we have two things that are over. One, all you little Homestead homies who are sending in your essays, make sure they're postmarked by January 16th. I'll give you till tomorrow, and make sure they're postmarked by January 16th, and we'll still enter them into the contest. We know we had some people sending them in Thursday and Friday, so we want to make sure they get here. So as long as they're postmarked by the 16th, we're going to enter them into the contest. And we want to thank all you little Homestead homies for drawing those pictures, sending in your essays, telling us what it's like on your homestead, and giving us your stories. Really meant a lot to me and Stacy. Also, this is January 15, 2017, and it's the last day for the giveaway. This is the Edge Pro Apex knife sharpening system. It comes with a nice carrying case, Velcro, heavy duty, transportable. This is the easiest knife sharpening system on planet Earth. Anybody can do it. You can put the kids on it, you can put the wife on it, you can put yourself on it. So don't forget about that. This is the last day for that as well. And you saw it right here. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Also, this is made in America 100%. And don't forget, we want to make America great again. Now on to our regularly scheduled programming. All right, guys, let's get right into it. Today we are going to be talking about...
We're going to talk about growing your onions.
Bunions?
No bunions today. But growing your onions on your homestead and how healing and awesome onions are. And they are like one of my top... we eat onions every day here.
We eat a lot of onions on garlic.
Every day.
So we know a lot of you guys, you're posting those Instagram pictures, you're shouting from the mountaintops how you're getting your seed orders in and you're receiving them and you're getting ready. And we want to make sure we're going to start talking about a lot of things that you need to plant in your garden for health, because that's one of our themes this year that you're going to see us speaking at some conferences, and we're going to be talking about homesteading for health. That's right.
Onions have a couple wonderful properties. They have lots of flavonoids in them, which are just great for, you hear anti-inflammatory, and it's a wonderful antihistamine. Okay, who needs Benadryl when you have onions? Seriously. Because it's a natural antihistamine. It's so wonderful. And it also has something called quercetin. And quercetin is a compound which is really known for it being an antihistamine. And it's good for lowering your blood pressure, and it's helped just for natural healing throughout the body. And the quercetin and the flavonoids, being like antiviral and anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, this is something that has been around for centuries. Mothers and grandmothers have used the power of an onion for healing. Forever. Now, I go to the Amish a lot, and, we're hanging out, and the kids get sick, of course. And the one thing from the moment that I got here, the one thing that they use all the time is they just get a little mason jar, pint-sized mason jar, and they'll chop up some onions really fine, and then they'll put honey in it, and then they'll let it set overnight. And then throughout the day, like I'll be over there hanging out, maybe we're doing something, I'm helping them, can or do something like that. And then the little kids will come over, and the mom will just give them a teaspoon of the honey with the onions in it.
It's a double whammy because you get the antibiotics from the honey, and then you get the healing properties of the onion. Right,
and so it's just fascinating how they do it. Now, I know a lot of times if you would go online and you would read about how to make that, they go ahead and, you let it steep, and then you strain the onions out. When the Amish do it, they just leave the onions in it, and the mom will just stick her spoon in there and then just hand it to them, and then they just keep it like in their icebox out back.
Because don't forget, when you heat up any of these things we're talking about, and anything from your garden, when you heat it up to can it or whatever, you're losing a ton of the benefits.
The enzymes and nutrients.
That's a killer. So what we try to encourage, like with our fermenting and stuff, is eating food that's alive. So if you just add your honey and then put your onions in there and then just let it set and mix together, and then you serve it cold just like that, boom, here's your teaspoon. That's going to give you the most benefit.
Okay, well, let's talk about that then. So he's talking about heating it up. Now, when you do heat up your things, like the onions, I'm going to tell you a little trick. On the onion, if you slice your onions before you're going to cook them, and you let them set out a few minutes, about 10, 15 minutes or so, and then you put them in your pan. You know how you would saute onions, like caramelized onions? You want to cook them at a low heat. That's going to keep the quercetin in it.
Right.
If you cook any of that stuff at high heat, it's just going to, kill it all out. So it's very important when you are starting to cook it at a lower heat. So when you saute your onions, don't make the heat very high. And when you let it set out, because it has these sulfur compounds in them, it'll really help enhance it and protect it from the heat by letting it sit out for the 10-15 minutes, which is pretty cool.
So it's kind of like a skin or a porous thing, because when you cut it, you're cutting open those pores in the skin type material, and then if you let it sit out, that lets it get a little time to rejuvenate caps to cover everything back up.
Oh, he's so good sometimes. All right, let's talk about crying.
Crying. Don't you guys hate it when you cut your onions and you're always crying about it?
Yeah, and that happens a lot. Well, that's the powerful stuff that we want. We want that.
You want that.
So the more pungent it is, the better it is for you, of course. Well, you know, people don't like that. So, of course, what are they trying to do? They're trying to come up with a genetically modified onion, and they're really working hard at it. They've been working it a long time, and they came really close to making it. And as I know right now, it hasn't happened. To try to get that crying gene out of it so that you don't cry.
But here's a simple tip.
Okay, what do you guys do? Everyone said, run them underwater, run it underwater.
Don't do that.
Well, the premise on that is, I guess when you're running under cold water, the coolness is going to help, but when you're running the water over it, it's going to rinse off all the nutrition. You know, the vitamins are going to come up, because most of your nutrition on your onion, you know, the quercetin and the flavonoids are on the outer edges of the onion. You know, the skin, and then the first couple layers, you're going to get most of them. So you want to keep that on there when you're cutting it up. You know, just kind of peel that flaky skin off, and then you can use the rest, especially when if you're going to saute them on low heat, like that. So I got sidetracked. What were we talking about?
The big trick on not tearing up for using your onions is put them in the refrigerator.
Yeah, you just want to chill them for a second. So just get them cool, or outside, put them outside for a second, and then once they're cool, it really decreases.
It takes the bite out of them.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take away all the health benefits and nutritional.
Right. So don't run them underwater.
Right.
That's a wives' tale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those wives, I tell you.
Yeah. So we just want to urge you guys onions are so helpful. Eat them in the rawest form you can. Like, I'll cut up great big onion. I'll dice them up really good. Put them in my chopper. You know, I put them in my salads, and then we just eat them and eat them and eat them and eat them and eat them. I mean, they're so good for you. They're basically like one of my little preventive medicine pills that we take. I mean, I'm pumped up on it.
It's an all-around, you can even actually cut onion in half and leave onion half out on your countertops, or you can sleep with them next to you when you go to bed. If you take an onion and cut it in half and sleep, it's known to pull bacteria out of the air around you. A lot of people do that. A lot of people cut them maybe like, you know, a slice, not like half of one, but a slice, and then they put it inside of their sock, put a sock on, put it at the bottom of your foot, put your sock on after that, and then when you go to bed, that helps detoxify and pull carcinogens and stuff out of you. You know, so that's, you know, what some people do. I mean, there's just so many uses for it.
Yeah, the onion, especially, you know, when you're cutting, you'll slice your onion and you'll leave them out. Let's say the flu's going around in your house. This would be a great thing to do. You get some white onions, work really good. I would do white onions and then yellow onions. But white onions are known the best to do with those big ones, like you put on a hamburger. Slice them, and then when you're sick in the house, the flu's going around, just put them everywhere, because they're going to just absorb anything. Here's another thing, talking about how they absorb. When you cut an onion, and you go ahead, and a lot of people just stick it in the refrigerator, you just know when you cut an onion and you let it set out, it's sucking in all the bacteria and everything. That's why I kind of get freaked out when you go to a salad bar and they have sliced onions sitting out all the time. So I love to eat onions, but I just know, like, the top layer, push it away, and then maybe get the bottom ones if you're going to be at the salad bar, because if they're sitting out that long, they're sucking in
That's a great tip.
all that junk, because it's like a sponge. So let's say you had mold in your house, things going on, or even you had some smells down in your basement, doesn't smell very good. If you cut up some onions and stuck them down there, it's really going to pull in. I mean, that's your cheapest air freshener you can get. You know, go ahead and use them like that. And when they start losing their smell, or they're starting to change color, then you know it's time to get rid of them. But let's say I'll use onion and I have a little bit left over. I go ahead and set it out on the sink. Just set them wherever, and they're very helpful. If you have kids, set them by their beds if they're sick, or if the flu's going around. I mean, I'd have onions sitting around everywhere, because it is a wonderful, potent type
It's good stuff.
remedy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great. I can't stress it enough.
Now the last thing, or one of the things we want to talk about for sure before we get you guys out of here, is the colors of the onions. Just like with most vegetables and fruits, the more colorful, the better they are.
Yeah, the red onions have a little bit more of nutritional value than the lighter onions. But when you guys are planting your garden, I mean, onions are good, period. You know, your onions, your shallots, the green onions, like, you know, you eat the greens and the white part on the bottom, leeks, all those shallots, all those are just great. Start planting them and putting them into, you know, your gardening plan when you're doing it. Try some new different, you know, different. Let's say you're always doing the white onions, you're always doing the sweet onions. You know, try the red onions because these are the purple, the blues, the black colors. All those are a little bit more up there on the health chart. But yeah, we just urge you guys. Oh, and here's another thing. One more thing.
But wait, there's more.
Okay, let's say, you know, you don't like to take medicine or, you know, you're sick. Just a great thing to do is you could just boil some water. Let's say you're on a budget. Boil some water and then put the onions, the skins, put everything, and then just simmer them and let them cook all day on low heat.
Low heat.
Remember, you slice them a little bit, let them set out, and then it'll help them be a little more heat stable. And then let it boil and then have just kind of like your onion soup and drink that. And that's sort of just like a little preventative thing to help you. Or if you're sick. I mean, how cheap and wonderful and easy is that?
And here's the thing, I know you guys are like thinking, well, she said don't eat the chopped ones, and then she said chop them. But we're talking about chopping them and leaving them out just for a short
10,
amount of
15
time.
minutes, yeah.
Versus something like at a salad bar or that you leave out on the counter or something.
You can put like
to
a
suck
little
in
glass top
bacteria.
over it if you're freaked out. But
Right.
if you just let it set for a little bit, it's okay.
Yeah, it's a time thing, so we're talking about minutes versus hours or even days.
Yeah.
Okay? So, man, did we give you guys some great tips or
So
what?
plant your onions.
Plant
Onions
it.
are great.
Yeah.
That is my one thing. I love garlics. We plant the garlic. We plant all that here, and I use a lot of garlic. But onions, I can't go without. If, you know, I start seeing our onions are going down, it's like, oh no.
And it's a root crop, so when you do it and you harvest them, they last you for a long time after you pull them out of the ground.
Plant early with
Plant
onions.
early. That's one of the
That's-
key to successes for your onions is to plant early. And then we're going to be showing you guys. Last year we really didn't, or you know, probably most of our videos, we've never really focused in on what we do in our garden and the tricks we know. So this year we're going to be a lot more in the garden, a lot more in the raised beds, a lot more in the back to Eden. We're going to be showing you guys a lot more of that stuff because we know a lot of you guys are interested in that. We're going to show you how to make grow the biggest onions possible, but you have to plant them early, you know, so keep your eye out for the frost. One thing that we do here, we're biodynamic farmers, so we're going to be teaching you guys about that kind of stuff. And 2017 is going to be huge. We're going to see you guys out at the conferences that we're speaking at. Homesteaders of America Conference in October in Virginia. We're also going to be at Baker Creek Seed Spring Planting Festival in May. So catch us there. Then we're probably going to be doing something down in Alabama. There's a big show down there with Full Spectrum Survival and some of the people in the Homestead Network. So hopefully that'll work out. So you guys, we're just encouraging you guys as you're planting your gardens to make sure if you do some onions, maybe to get more onions. You might not have known all the great benefits
Or make
to
some
planting
room to
onions.
grow some onions because it does take, you know, a little practice to
Sure.
learn how to grow. But just big thing is to plant them early.
Yeah,
That's
and we're
the
going to show
trick.
you a
early, even when you don't think so.
no fertilizing, no nothing, just biodynamic gardening is what we're going to be focusing on.
Well, no,
for
they
you
need
guys.
fertilizer. You need
No,
not that
commercial
kind of compost.
fertilizer. We're talking about
Compost.
Miracle
Yeah.
Grows
Yeah.
and stuff like that, guys. Don't be confused. When we say fertilizer, we're definitely talking about compost,
Natural
compost
fertilizer.
teas, and stuff like that, okay? So anything else before we get out of here?
Nothing. Just get on those onions because they are so healing and powerful, and they make your food taste good.
That's it. This is Off Grid with Doug and Stacy. I'm Doug.
I'm Stacy.
And we'll see you on the next one. Don't forget to check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And don't forget, you want to be the Homestead Homie of the Month.